Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive deep into the world of insulin. For anyone managing diabetes, getting a handle on the different types isn't just a nice to know, it's absolutely crucial. So, let's break it all down.
So let's start with a really basic question. What actually happens when our bodies just can't make enough of their own insulin? This is the fundamental problem that insulin therapy was created to solve.
All right, here's our game plan. We'll kick off with a quick intro to what insulin is. Then we'll explore the fast-acting and long-acting types. After that, we'll check out the pre-mixed options and wrap things up by talking about how the right choice gets made. Ready? Let's do this.
Okay, let's begin with square one. What in the world is insulin, and why is it so incredibly important for our bodies?
To put it simply, insulin is a hormone, and its main job is to act like a tiny key. It goes around unlocking our body's cells to let glucose, that sugar, get inside to be used for energy. Without that key, the sugar just gets stuck in the bloodstream.
So what happens when the body can't make enough of this super important hormone, which is what happens with diabetes? Well, it has to be brought in from the outside, and that's exactly where insulin therapy comes into play.
But here's the thing. This therapy isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. Not at all. There are 5 main categories of insulin, and each one works in a very specific way. So let's explore them, starting with the sprinters of the group, the ones that act the fastest.
First up, we've got the fast-acting insulins. I want you to think of these as the mealtime managers. They're designed specifically to handle that spike in blood sugar that comes right after you eat.
Now, within this fast-acting group, there are actually 2 different speeds. You've got rapid-acting, which gets to work in just 10 to 15 minutes and is usually done in 3 to 5 hours. Then there's short-acting, which is a bit more relaxed. It starts working in about 30 minutes and sticks around for 6 to 8 hours.
You can really see the difference when you look at how they work over time. That rapid-acting insulin has a really sharp, quick peak, perfect for that immediate response after a meal. The short-acting one, its curve is a bit more gradual, covering things for a little longer.
So what are some of the names you might hear? Well, for rapid-acting, you'll hear things like insulin lispro and insulin aspart. And short-acting is often just called regular insulin. Nice and simple.
Okay, let's flip the script and look at the other end of the spectrum, long-acting insulins. These are the marathon runners. They're designed to give you a steady, background level of insulin that lasts all day long.
Here, we can compare intermediate-acting and long-acting insulins. The biggest difference, by far, is the duration. Intermediate-acting, just like its name suggests, gives you about 12 hours of coverage, so half a day. But a true long-acting insulin, that gives you stable control for a full 24 hours.
And just look at their action curves, it tells the whole story. Intermediate-acting insulin has a clear peak and covers about half the day. But the long-acting insulin, it's basically a flat, steady line, which is meant to mimic the body's own natural, constant trickle of insulin.
Some common examples you might come across are NPH for the intermediate-acting kind, and names like glargine or detamir for those long-acting types. All right, our final category is pre-mixed insulin. And yeah, it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's a convenient combination of 2 different types all in one.
The whole idea here is to combine 2 types into a single package. You get the mealtime coverage you need from a rapid or short-acting insulin, plus the longer background coverage from an intermediate-acting one, all in one single shot.
So what's the big advantage? Honestly, it just comes down to convenience. For people who need both types of coverage, this really simplifies their daily routine by cutting down the number of injections they need.
So with all of these different options out there, how in the world is the right one chosen for a person? Let's put all the pieces together. This table right here is a perfect summary of everything we've talked about. You can see all 5 types lined up, comparing how fast they start, how long they last, and what their main job is. It's a great way to see how each one fits into the big puzzle of diabetes management.
But probably the most important thing to take away from all this is that the choice is super personalized. It is never random. Doctors consider so many things: a patient's specific needs, what type of diabetes they have, and even stuff like their daily routine and lifestyle.
And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? There is no single best insulin. What works like a charm for one person might be totally wrong for someone else. It is all about tailoring the therapy to the individual.
And that, of course, leads us to the final, most personal question of all. Which of these is the right insulin for your needs?
And the only person who can truly safely answer that is a healthcare professional. We really hope this explainer has given you a clear overview, but please, always remember, decisions about your health should always be made with your doctor. Make sure you seek the professional medical advice. Thanks for joining us.